Hello Chris and hello Kim.
Hey Tom.
Last year we have the amazing book Push Turn Move, and I heard you had a new book and it's already fundraised in 10 minutes.
Yes, Patch and Tweak about modular synthesis. We got funded like a few days ago.
Yeah, this happened much faster than we expected, about 10 minutes, but it shows how big the modular market is these days.
And can you explain a bit the idea behind the book? How do you structure it? Or maybe is it a good way to learn modular? Or what?
We're really trying to have quite a mix for everybody because there is an introduction to modular synthesis. There's a bit of a history about modular in there as well. But for people who have some experience, we're showing them how modules work, how to get more out of modules, what features to look for in a module. But to bounce all that tech off, Kim's doing a lot of interviews with both artists and manufacturers.
We have major artists chipping in with their patch tips and secrets, so it's a diverse selection.
And do you think the book will serve like a bibliothèque or a library for people who search an answer for a question, or do you think it's more an overview of the modular world?
I'd say it's both then.
Yeah, I think it's giving a bit of both, because for people who don't have any experience, it's going to demystify what the equipment is, what the various terms are. For people who already know what their modular is, I think we're going to save them a lot of time of how to create patches, what features maybe they're actually looking for in a module to make their type of music.
Was there a need in the market for such a book, you think, or?
Apparently there are.
Yeah, well, just the demand alone makes us think so, but really the modular market's not had a good book since the 60s or 70s with Alan Strange's book on electronic music. A lot of people are paying hundreds of dollars for that on eBay for old copies. So I think people have been looking for a good comprehensive book about modular synthesis.
And so the structure, it's an easy dive in, and then some more in depth, or how do you it's made?
Basically, we start out by explaining some of the historical points, then going into modular synthesis fundamentals. Chris is explaining a lot of that stuff, and then slowly going towards how the entry points. You know, some people are starting with semi-modular, some are using software, and then we go into the systems and how to put together a system.
Is it purely an Eurorack book, or you also consider software modular synths, or is it more for Eurorack modules? How do you?
I think the background is much more. We're trying to cover all the different formats: software, semi-modular, 5U, 4U, 3U. When it comes down to the specific module device, there's a lot of Eurorack modules. That's obviously the ones we explain the most of. But we're trying to show that there's some fundamental concepts that can apply to any format.
So it goes in the same direction as Push Turn Move, which had also software and hardware, and shows both worlds.
I'd say this is much more hardware, of course. The core at modular, and it's not in such a way a coffee table book as Push Turn Move might have been perceived. It's much more, what can we say, exploring this topic in depth actually.
Yeah, every single subject we tackle, we start at a beginner's level. Maybe you've heard the term and you don't know what it means, but then throughout that section we keep ramping up in complexity and how advanced the tips are until we get to another subject and we go back for the beginner and take them up that road again.
So you try to answer questions like from people, what is a complex oscillator?
Precisely.
What is a multiplier? All these questions coming from in Modular forums or Facebook.
We start every section explaining a term, and there's a glossary in the back as well. But for people who already know, then we say, okay, here's the variations of that idea. Here's how you patch it yourself. Here's how you take it to a different place.
So if you are a beginner of zero, you need this book.
Yeah, you can say you definitely need this book, but also if you're an advanced user of modular. And this actually also comes from that I've only spent like 2-3 years in the modular world, and I needed something like this. And I saw Chris's courses online, and of course there's all this online stuff, but somehow you need to get it down to some basic
something
stuff,
curated and focused to save you time. You could spend hours and hours searching YouTube, or you could go read something and just get up to speed very quickly.
And can you explain a bit how you met each other? Is it
we met online?
I've been already doing a lot of training courses on teaching modular synthesis to my company, Learning Modular. I used to use and make synthesizers back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and then Kim just saw my work and thought, I seem to explain things clearly enough for him. So
So yeah, exactly.
So, and your team is the same as the Push Turn Move now for editing, maybe?
Yeah, basically. Of course, it's a slightly different angle, much more technological aspects in this one, maybe. So, but it's basically the same team behind it.
And you are still the writer of the book, or
we are co-authors in this book. Yes.
And which artists you feature now in the book?
A variety of artists. I mean, we have, maybe to mention a few, Hans Zimmer, for example, Richard Devine, sorry, and also like Caterina Barbieri, Russell Butler, and yeah, a lot of artists.
Yeah, we're trying to cover both people who do soundtrack work, or have been doing it for a while, but also some of the newer dance music artists as well. So again, we're trying to cover a variety of people.
Yeah.
And do you make also some kind of workshops inside, or what get the people if you receive the book? Is there a plus with the book?
There are many pluses with the book. I mean, there's a lot of patching examples, and you can hear the sounds from these patching examples in an online environment too. And there'll be some additional video content too. So it's not a standalone thing, but it can work very well as standalone, but of course you need to hear the sounds too.
So this content will be delivered directly with the book on the code, or?
There'll be an online environment,
yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Links to go ahead and hear sound files to understand how filters work, what's the differences between wave folders, things like that.
And I think we live in a world where YouTube and all, you consider also some YouTubers inside?
Yes, definitely. It's not, I mean, it is this world we're living in. So it's not only a book, it's also online content.
And which YouTube creators are maybe inside the book?
YouTube creators. We have Andrew Huang inside, for example. Like DivKit Ben is going to provide some tips, and yeah, different people.
Cool to hear that not only hardware or the synths are made here, but also books.
Yeah.
And how is the resonance on the show now from the people? They want it, or
very positive
amazing.
feedback, very strong. I think better than we expected.
Yeah, people are really happy about it because they all say that I needed this book when I started out.
Because a lot of us learn modular and we hear these terms and we kind of have an idea of how they work, but we always just wish someone would explain it clearly and put it in one place so they can get back to patching, and that's what we're trying to do.
And do you think with this book you reach even more people maybe which are curious, not yet have a modular?
Definitely. It's got to be a really good, I hope, entry point into the modular world.
Yeah, part of the content includes a survey of formats and how do you get started in this world to try to help the beginner get a first step up that ladder.
Yeah.
And for the final, it's online on Kickstarter?
Yes, you go to Kickstarter, you go to patchandtweak.com. It directs you to Kickstarter and you can still pledge.
And what is now the entry price, or is how?
Yeah, what's the entry price now? I don't remember. The early birds are unfortunately gone, but we have some special packages for people to sign in on, so we can use all the support we can.
And we can expect it when it's available?
That'll be in the autumn, like September, October.
Yeah, we've already been working on it. We've written about a third of it or so and been developing layouts, so we're already making good progress on it. So.
Is there already some pictures available of the book, maybe for the people?
Yes, definitely. You want to have a peek in this one now? I can swift through. So this is kind of the cover. Yeah, just to give people a sense of how it. We have a simple library. Actually, also it's going to be free for use for everyone online. This is some of the patching examples. Maybe Chris can also explain some of this, but this is the way we are doing it, layout-wise and content-wise. Interviews, patching secrets again, lots of cool stuff.
And a lot of explanations of the history of something like a complex oscillator, what are very similar to it, what's evolved from it, how do you make your own. So we're trying to cover a variety of applications.
So you covered, I think, pretty sure what is the difference in West Coast and East Coast.
We talk about West Coast and East Coast, but we also say the idea of a modular synth is to create your own sounds and make it very personal.
Okay, thank you Kim and Chris for this little interview from the Superbooth, and I wish you a good Superbooth.
Thank you. We're looking forward to getting back in and seeing all the new toys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Bye.